My number 2 buck would be this wide 9 here. He's back this year, beautiful frame, he's nice, wide and tall. He's lived up to the hype. I mean, he's a big deer.
There he comes, right there on that edge of that corn. Right there. Where's he at? Right there, Bronco. I'm on him. Barely made it out of the field. Yes. Yeah.
Welcome back to the show, guys. As promised, we're talking about that wide 9 buck today. Talk about the history a little bit and, you know, maybe talk about what led to getting a shot at him. The history goes back to 2019. It was November. Joe and I are hunting in the same spot we encountered him this year. We're hunting over standing beans there, and he pops out harassing a couple does. And I remember thinking back at that time, I was like, wow, for a young buck, that deer has a heck of a frame. You know, I'm excited about his upside potential. A few days later, in 2019, we had one more encounter with him. He walks down the hill and walks right past me again. And so that's it, 2019. Now he's on the radar, I know about the deer. 2020, I got the cameras out, I'm watching him. I'm just trying to learn everything I can about the deer, like I do with all of them. 2020 goes by with no sightings of no video, you know, just trail cam pics. And we get into 2021, and he's on the hit list. I think he's a 5.5-year-old buck, and he's just gorgeous. Early in the summer, I'm out doing some velvet scouting, and you know, I see him back in CRP. I'm like, oh my goodness, the thing's got, you know, a heck of a frame on him, big old wide buck, and you know, I'm excited about having deer like that to go after. It's a lot of fun, of course. So he's on the list 2021, but I don't really go hunting specifically. Late in the year, I think it was around Christmas maybe, I'm out hunting with Grandpa's gun, and you know, we have an encounter with him.
Man alive, how lucky are we to be able to sit and watch deer like that? It's taken the better part of 30 years to get a farm like this, but still, so fortunate.
So that was a pretty close encounter. You know, I've got Grandpa's gun with open iron sights, so I don't want to shoot that far. He came into maybe 130, 150 yards, and I just don't want to take that shot. So, you know, 2021 comes and goes, and we don't get him. End up picking up both sheds that spring, so now going into 2022, he's top of the hit list. You know, it's Wolverine 1 and Wide 9's 1A. I mean, they're right there, 1 and 2. And so I think the first hunt of the year for this Wide 9 was October 12th to the 13th, and we had a heck of a hunt that day.
ended up bumping those does around. And then he just worked off. I never did see where he went, but I guess he went back the way he came from again. Man, what a hunt.
Man, that was a close one. I thought we were going to get it done on the first time in for him. But in hindsight, watching that footage, I think he was picking up on us a little bit, like there was a little swirling wind down there. And I think he'd caught us there at one point. So as the season goes on, I keep picking my shots down in that same area, you know, because I'd gone through 3 years of trail pictures, 2019, 2020, 2021. And now we've got some going into 2022 that, you know, I'm trying to see everywhere that he roams and, you know, where does this deer like to be? And it's around that crabs plot. So I keep taking my shots down there. I'm hunting the Wolverine buck some, coming back hunting this wide 9. And, you know, I think it was October 30th we had another encounter with him. I smacked the antlers together. And here he comes on a beeline. And again, you know, he gives us the slip, whatever happens there. I don't think he winded us, but he didn't see 2 deer down there or whatever. And so that didn't work out. So, you know, we just keep taking our shots at him. Finally, November 11th, it'd been about 4 years since I killed that crabs buck down there. So I said to Devin, I said, hey, let's just go down there and try it, you know, just for sentimental sake. It's been about 4 years since I killed that nice buck down there. Let's just go down there instead. It'll be fun. It's a great spot. And lo and behold, you'll see what happened.
All right, here we are, November 11th. We're after that wide 9. I actually seen that buck this morning up in, it was north of here up in the cut corn. He was hounding a doe, and so I don't know if he's with that doe or not, but gotta be out here giving ourselves a chance. It is cooled down pretty much cold. It's like 28 degrees right now, so it's pretty chilly. I'm bundled up like the Michelin Man. I don't know if I can draw my bow, who knows. I got plenty of clothes on. I'll practice draw here in a minute. We got about a 3-hour sit. I'm hoping we'll have some does down here. For this time of year, I want to be around some does and a little pinch point, which we have right here. There's a couple of outside bends in this creek behind us, and it pushes most everything on this side of the creek. And then I've got this little, oh, it's like a farm access road right here that I maintain, so they use that pretty steadily. We'll see what happens, boys. Give her a go. Guys moving to our left, kind of toward the same place. You can just see us back on the left side of that. Yeah. Yeah, we're in the game today. Jeez. Jeez Louise. Well, some anxious moments here. We got the wide 9 down there with the doe. We were seeing this little fawn out here. I kept telling Devin, I was like, yeah, her mom's in there with a buck. Sure enough, well, wide 9's in there with a doe, so we just need him to feed out into this corn. We'll be in business. When we're in the game, yes. Come on, send him. Got him. Yes, sir. Nothing I can do about that. Try and call at him, but just with him being on a doe is useless. Where's he at? Right there, Brooklyn. gotta be. He's just screaming. Yep, here they come. You got him right there. Let's see what this looks like. Pressure on the trigger and then I chickened out as you put her head up in front. Stand there, I might try. I'm on. Nervous, man. You got it. Take your time. Nothing but a back target. Yeah. I see a lot of blood. I think I nailed him. You just need to track it. Oh my God, that's a huge, oh my God. I was shaking like a leaf. I drew on him 3 times and I was shaking so bad. Oh, what did you just do? Oh my word. I seen blood on his side big time. I must have hit him pretty good. I couldn't tell, but that's why you do all the practice on the range right there. He was out there with that doe's still there. Oh my goodness, the 2 deer I wanted. That is crazy. What is going on? Well, still shaking like a leaf here, but when he ran out of the field, he looked like he was struggling there at the end, and I could see a bunch of blood right behind his shoulder, so I think I hit him pretty good. That's one of the bigger bucks I've taken a shot at in quite a while, so pretty fired up. I want to go over there and check blood. I'm pretty sure he's down. It's been 15-20 minutes here. I'm going to go over and see if we can take up the blood trail, see if we can find him. I think he's probably laying right in this little creek bottom here, so let's go find out. Oh yeah. Apparently we were right behind the shoulder because he snapped it off there, so like I said, I seen him bleeding pretty bad. Right through here. I think that's his head sticking up right there, you see it? He didn't make it anywhere. Come on. Barely made it out of the field. Yes. Yeah. Oh my word. Yeah, that's why it busted that arrow off. Look at where that hit him. Oh my gosh, look at the width of this thing. Look at that deer. Oh my word. What did you do? Hang it. The 2 bucks I wanted to go after this year was that Wolverine buck and this wide 9. I thought, man, that would be the best season in a long time. And lo and behold, we got them both. Look at that, that's crazy.
Well guys, here we are next day. I tell you, it's turning into a dream season in a hurry. I've been bow hunting, what, 37, 38 years now, and this is probably the largest frame deer I've ever even seen, really. Just a huge frame. I don't know what else you could want for in a deer, you know. He's, I believe he's 6.5 years old. We've got a little history with him. Like I said yesterday in the interview, Joe filmed him when he was 3.5, some standing beans, and I remember saying at that time, you know, what he was going to be. He looked like he had the genetics just to be a stallion of a buck, and he's turned into that. Just super happy with him. All you could ask for. Width. Cool kicker point down here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but neat wraparound point, a little kicker off the base there, but just a buck dreams are made of. And I really didn't even think we'd see this buck last night, but there again, you just got to put your time in, give yourself a chance, you know. Really rewarding when they get to that age and you get them, you know, when you think they're probably their best rack ever. You can see what he's done right here. This would have been his 4.5-year-old set, and this I think was his 5.5, and that's how he got his name, the Wide 9. He was a 9 those years, and he's a good bit bigger this year. I would say most of the time 6.5 or 7.5 is their best rack. So he had me probably more worked up than any buck I can remember in a long time. I was pretty nervous trying to get a shot at him there. I was talking to Devin back and forth, and I was like, man, I don't want to mess his shot up. You know, I let down 2 or 3 times, and that's another good takeaway too, is, you know, all the practice with the bow, and you know, it's rewarding, satisfying to see that pay off. You know, we did a lot of shooting the last couple of months, and you know, pretty much 10 ringed him, so pretty stoked about that. And he didn't make it, what, 70 yards probably. So yeah, I don't know where we go from here. You know, just get ready for gun season. Devin's still got a tag, so you know, hopefully we can get him a buck. And I'd really like to see Dad's buck and take him with Dad's gun. That'd be the icing on the cake for this season. But you know, I don't know if it'll get much better. Pretty rewarding to be having a killer season, and we'll be back out again. We'll get ready for gun season. We'll be back with you guys shortly.
You know, in hindsight, looking back at this hunt, you know, trying to kind of put my finger on why we got a shot at this deer, this spot is it's just one of those spots you dream of. It jumps off the page at you on an aerial. There's a tree line that comes in from north and south. There's another one that comes in that runs east and west, and then there's this drainage basically that we're in that comes from the northeast, comes in there. So all that stuff comes together. I mean, it's obvious on an aerial. And then there's an outside bend in the creek behind us, which pinches them to the north. And then I've got that farm funnel, that little farm field that connects those 2 fields, you know, which adds to it. And then you got all that food that goes, you know, we got the food in front of us. And then as you go west, there's another field that's usually corn or beans, and then you go farther west. This year it's beans as you go to the next field to the west. Well, those deer just funnel back and forth through all those fields, so it just makes one heck of a funnel. And you know, I've killed a couple really good deer there and have passed a bunch as well. And you know, I don't think that's going to be the last one I have an opportunity at right there. It's just one of those spots that, you know, when you're looking for your rut funnels or just a good spot in general, you know, it's got all that stuff going for it right there. And there's something pretty similar on the other end of that crab spot too. You know, there's very similar. The tree line comes in, and there's another draw that comes down, and that's a very good spot as well. So big celebration again. You know, I'm really animated, fired up. The dream season is underway. You know, it's hard to believe in 5 days you got 2 bucks like that, your number 1 and your number 2 targets. But I'm on cloud 9. We walk over there and of course recover the buck, and he's everything I hoped he would be. Just a super cool deer, really wide. You know, I measured his inside spread at 25 3/8, which that's 3 inches wider than any buck I've killed. So just a really awesome frame. He'll be a tough one to beat, but you know, there again, like I say, I'd rather be lucky than good. But as you've heard it said probably before, the luck is where, you know, opportunity and preparation meet. And I would say in this case, that's exactly what it was. You know, I was prepared for that shot. I've been shooting out to 70 yards, even though the shot, you know, wasn't that far or anything, but I was prepared for longer shots, and I made it count when I got my opportunity. So just super thankful to be able to hunt deer like that, and to get one, you know, is just really rewarding and humbling. And I'm glad you guys were able to enjoy the show and watch the way it went down. So again, I thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you back here again next week.